Welcome to Lydie's Book Club podcast, where English learners fall in love with reading. I'm Lydie Bureau, I'm an English teacher in France and also the founder of Lydie's Book Club, the perfect place for English learners and non-native speakers who want to keep their English sharp while enjoying great literature. Each week on the podcast, you get a relaxing dose of English through guided readings, perfect for building fluency in a fun and meaningful way. Lydie's Book Club is more than just a book club. It's a global community for learners who want to improve their English by diving into adapted classics and contemporary novels in their original text. We focus especially on works by female authors, and every 2 months we explore a new book chosen with care and adapted to your level, from upper intermediate B2 to advanced C1 and C2 levels. Our current book pick for May and June 2025 is or was Middlemarch, by the adaptation of Middlemarch by George Eliot. We are reaching now the end of this reading. And we've picked this novel because it's one of the most powerful novels of the 19th century. And we have read this, well, we're finishing today the reading of this B2 level adaptation from Macmillan Readers. So it's fully accessible to learners and a great way to start reading in English. So if you're new to the story or the author, check out the episode 32 of this podcast on Spotify or on YouTube. I introduce you to George Eliot and explain why Middlemarch is a must-read. So today we're reading chapters 21 and 22, the final chapters of this adaptation. And if you'd like to join our next read or our next live events on Zoom, just subscribe to the book club, be part of this community. The link is in the description. And this being part of this book club will allow you to have exclusive contents and also access to authors' interviews, guided readings, sessions, and also discussion workshop sessions, which will allow you to improve your English, improve your comprehension, and also you get the chance with the guided reading to ask any questions that you might have about the book or the book club, and also be part of those live events that you can have that you will know more about in the newsletter. If you join the newsletter, then you will get the latest news about what will come up in the following weeks or months in the book club. Also, I make sure that you sign up for our last discussion workshop this Saturday on the 28th of June. I'm hosting this last group discussion on this book, and we will discuss chapters 17 and up to 22, the final chapters. And it's the perfect way, basically, to speak English, build confidence, and connect with fellow book lovers from around the world. So if you're ready to join us, just click in the link in the description and subscribe, be part of this community, and be inspired to read more, speak more, and enjoy English like never before. So let's get started with a quick recap of the chapters that we've read Um, yes. Oh no, 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 not yesterday. On Monday. So on Monday we read chapters 17 to 20. And before I start our two chapters, well, before I start reading today, I'm going to quickly refresh your mind, although it wasn't long ago that we did that reading. So, chapter 17, the secret is out. So in this chapter, we, so Mr. Bulstrode and Dr. Lydgate have to face the town, well, the people uh, from Middlemarch and face, they are invited, well, they are attending, sorry, they are attending um, a town hall meeting. And at this meeting, they are faced with the truth. Basically, everyone in Middlemarch, rumors have spread, and in relation to Bulstrode's secret and his relation to Mr. Raffles, and also his, especially in relation to Mr. Raffles' mysterious death. So, um, so everyone is suspicious that Mr. Bulstrode killed Mr. Raffles to hide his secrets, but everyone knows about Mr. Bulstrode's secret. And oh no, that's not it. This is not no, in this chapter, this is not chapter it's in chapter 18 that we learned that. My apologies. Oh, no, 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 that's right, that's right. Yeah. So basically, in this chapter, Mr. Raffles dies, and the town people, the town hall meeting is held, and Mr. Bulstrode and Lydgate are blamed for mainly Mr. Bulstrode at the meeting is blamed for the death of this man and also the un um, and also the fact that Mr. Bulstrode earned his wealth um, in a non-honest way, let's say, a non-Christian way. And Lydgate, who accepted Mr. Bulstrode's money now, is seen as accomplice in this death of this um, man. Well, this Mr. Raffles, terrible. Oof, it's not alcoholic um, character and not very respectable man, I would say. Yeah. So, so at the end of the meeting, Mr. Bulstrode feels ill, and Lydgate is saddened to see him um, being attacked by everyone at the town hall. So he takes him and takes him back to the house, to his house at Stone Court. Now, chapter 18, Two Wives. So this chapter focuses more on Mr. Bulstrode's wife, Harriet. Harriet or Henriette? Harriet and Rosamond Lydgate, um, who learn that their husbands are linked to the death of Mr. Raffles, this very an honest man and respectable man, and they're mixed uh, with this scandal, as we could say. And Dr. Lydgate now is linked with the death of this man, Mr. Raffles, and because he took the money from Mr. Bulstrode, and obviously now nobody want to come to Mr. Lydgate. So Rosamond invited people because she wanted to do a little house party, but no one answered positively to her invites. And well, from her invitation, sorry. And Lydgate is losing patients as well, especially the wealthy one, the ones who pay. Uh, and the state, and also here we can see the difference in responding, the difference between Rosamond and Harriet's behavior um, towards the news, towards that news, and uh, and we can see that Harriet is not clearly, but not explained in detail here, um, in comparison to the novel, the original text. But Harriet is very disappointed with her husband and now has to face the music, as we could say in English, or she has to face the fact that now they have to maybe move somewhere else and leave Middlemarch, and her reputation has been stained. Oh, has been stained. Yes, that's right. Um, and Rosamond, but she remains supportive towards her husband, which is not the case with Rosamond. Rosamond is more resentful towards her husband, and she now has leverage, as we could say. She has leverage to her request of in leaving Middlemarch for London, because she has been asking for that for their departure from Middlemarch and to leave to London for a couple months now. But Lydgate was reluctant because he rejected this idea, because he had the practice and his patience and his research as well. He didn't want to leave Middlemarch for these reasons, professional reasons, and also because they didn't have a lot of money yet. They were still in debt. Mr. Bolster hadn't lent them his money, and but now she is in a stronger position, I would say, to make her request legitimate. Um, and uh, and Lydgate now, he is stuck in a way, and has to admit that they don't have any other choice but leave. But in chapter 19, Dorothea makes some decisions here. And Dorothea is going to try to rescue and support Lydgate by lending him money and supporting him, um, emotionally, I would say. And she's going to try to convince Rosamond to stay for the greater good of Middlemarch and for the new hospital and because um, Dorothea um, has really is very compassionate towards Dr. Lydgate's work. She's very admirative and she regards him as a friend, we could say, and she does because he helped her a lot during the loss of Mr. Casaubon, her husband. And she's very, we can see here the loyalty in Dorothea's character. And despite her relatives' opinion about Dr. Lydgate, everyone is kind of, so they're not turning really their back, Mr. Brooke and Sir James, but they're not so supportive either. They just wait, they just want to wait and see. So they're not taking much risks in Lydgate's case. They don't really want to involve themselves, contrary to Dorothea, who really want to act on on it and try to save Lydgate's reputation as well. So she goes to the Lydgates, and there, who she sees, Ladislaw and comforting Rosamond, as we can see in this lovely illustration. So she is trying to support him. Oh, no, sorry. What am I saying? So she's going there to talk to Rosamond about supporting Lydgate, and she's a bit shocked to see Ladislaw there. But then she comes back, so she leaves. She's a bit in shock, and the next day she comes back to talk to Rosamond again, and there she has a very um, she put aside her feelings towards Ladislaw and maybe the disappointment in him when she had to face uh, because she imagines that Ladislaw has feelings for Rosamond, but actually she is wrong, and Rosamond wants to be honest with her, and because she's seeing all the how generous Dorothea is and how and compassionate and all the empathy that Dorothea is showing to her, Rosamond cannot be can cannot be mean with her or act um, differently because or not act differently, but she feels that she owes honesty towards Dorothea, and in a way that Dorothea deserves to know the truth about Ladislaw's feelings, and of course that brings some satisfaction to Dorothea in a way, but she doesn't want to be influenced by that, and she has a mission. She wants to save Lydgate in a way, and Rosamond, save their reputation, and wants them to stay. And this is what she Uh, she what she implies to do. Um, but then at the end of the chapter, she actually reveals to or admits to herself that she had actually loved him, Ladislaw, that she had feelings for Ladislaw, and that she actually had loved, that she has loved him, or that she still loves him, I would say. So let's see what the end of the book is going to reveal now. How, um, what's coming to these character, what is going to happen for the future of this character. Right. Chapter 20, True Conversation. Dorothea walked into Middlemarch the next morning. She arrived as Lydgate was leaving the house. Do you think that Mrs. Lydgate can see me this morning? Oh, my apologies. That was Oh, no, no, no. That was chapter 22. Sorry, I read that chapter already. So that's actually the chapter where what was happening in chapter 20? Ah, yeah, 29 was when she went to the lead gates and Ladison was there. And chapter 20, my apologies. Chapter 20 is when she comes back to the lead gates and Rosamond is telling the truth about Ladison's feelings. Sorry. Now, chapter 21, after the storm. I got lost in my summary of the chapters. Okay. After her visit to Rosamond, Dorothea had 2 nights of good sleep. She felt full of life again. She spent most of the first day walking in her gardens. On the second day, she tried to find something useful to do. The poor people in the village were well and happy. There was nothing to do there. Dorothea thought about visiting her uncle at Tipton Grange, but decided to stay at home. I needed to read more, Dorothea thought to herself. I'll stay in the library today. I need to read more. Oh, sorry. I need to read. Yeah, I'll stay in the library today. But she could not find a book to interest her. She was looking at one of the paintings in the wall when the door opened quietly. It was Will Ladislaw. I told your butler not to announce me, Will said. I thought that you might not want to see me. He walked very slowly towards Dorothea, who was standing completely still. Of course I wanted to see you, she said. I had to explain something to you, Will said. You know my family history and how I am known to Mr. Bulstrode. He offered me money, but I refused to take it. You did right, as you always do, Dorothea replied. My life has no meaning now, and I can never be happy, Will said. But I have always been true to you, and I always shall be. I want you to know that. I do know it, Dorothea said, holding out her hand. Will took her hand and kissed it. Then Dorothea turned and moved away to the window. How dark the clouds are, she said, and the wind is becoming stronger. There's going to be a storm. Will stepped a little nearer to her. They stood in silence, not looking at each other, but at the gardens outside. The trees were moving in the strong wind, and the sky was black. The thunder was nearer now. Suddenly there was a flash of lightning, which startled them both and made them look at each other. It was wrong to say that you can never be happy, Dorothea whispered. I have felt great sadness too. Perhaps it has made me stronger. You will grow stronger too, even even without. We haven't been able to see each other for one last time, Will said. Think of me sometimes, but you must think of me as a dead man. Another bright flash of lightning lit up the darkened room. Dorothea ran from the window in fear. Will followed her and held her hands. The storm was over the house. The storm was over the house now, and the thunder into each other's eyes. Oh, sorry, and the thunder shook the room. As the rain began to pour down, they looked into each other's eyes for the first time. There is no hope for me, Will said. Even if you loved me even if you loved me as I love you, I would still be poor. It is impossible for us to be together. I should not have come. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry, Dorothea said. She could not speak. They moved towards each other again and kissed for the first time. The rain was still falling against the windows and the wind was blowing strongly. Inside the library, there was silence. Dorothea sat down on a couch in the middle of the room. Will sat down beside her and held her hand. They sat until the rain stopped falling and everything outside was quiet too. It is impossible, Will cried. We love each other, but we can never be married. Sometime we might, Dorothea began. Sometime? When? Will asked angrily. People will always say that I ruined your life. Then he stood up and reached for his hat. I must go, he said quickly. Goodbye. Oh, I cannot bear it. My heart is breaking. Dorothea cried. Oh, look at this lovely illustration of Dorothea here and Ladislaw. We can see here Dorothea wearing a lighter dress. Since now she's not in mourning anymore, and we can see here by the way she dresses that she is revived in a way, she reborn in a way. Dorothea cried, rising from her seat. Tears began to pour down her cheeks. You must not go. I cannot bear it. I don't mind about being poor. I hate my husband's money. I hate it. Immediately, Will put his arms around her. I have money of my own, she said. We could live quite well on that. I shall not want anything for myself. We have each other. Nothing else matters now. The next day was fine at Freshet Hall. Celia was sitting in the flower garden, playing with her baby, little Arthur. Her husband, Sir James Chatham, was reading the London newspaper. Everything was peaceful and quiet. Celia looked up. Oh, sorry, I have thoughts in my head. Celia looked up. Oh, look, here is my uncle, she said, leaving the baby with his nurse. Celia ran towards Mr. Brooke and held his arm. Sad news, my dear, Mr. Brooke said. Sir James looked up from his newspaper. What's the matter? He said. You're talking about politics, I suppose. I'm reading the news from London now. No, it's something nearer to home. It's a family matter, you know. Then it must be about Dorothea, Celia said quickly. What has happened? What has she done now? It all started with Casaubon's will, Mr. Brooke said unhappily. That was a mistake, you know. It made everything worse. God's sake, tell us what you're talking about, Sir James cried. Dorothea is going to be married again, you know, Mr. Brooke said unhappily. Sir James's face went white with anger. Celia looked first at her husband and then at her uncle. Is it Mr. Ladislaw? She said. Yes, she will marry Ladislaw, Mr. Brooke replied. When did you hear this? Sir James asked. Yesterday, when I went to Lowick, you know, Dorothea sent for me. It all happened quite suddenly. I can't stop it, you know. I knew this would happen, Sir James said angrily. I told you to send Ladislaw away. The marriage will take Dorothea away from her proper place in society. She will be poor married to that man, a foreigner with no position in society at all. I told her that, Mr. Brooks said. But Dorothea has thought of everything. She hates Mr. Casbon's money and she has some of her own, you know. Dorothea said that she would never marry again, Celia said. And now I suppose she's going to be married very soon. In 3 weeks, Mr. Brooke replied. We must make the best of it, I suppose. When Mr. Brooke had left, Celia spoke to her husband. I would like to have the carriage to go to Lowick, she said. I must speak to Dorothea at once. Perhaps I can make her change her mind. So here again, go back to A, basically, or we go back to the beginning of the novel. So here's a full circle where again Dorothea's family is trying to discourage her from marrying the person that she wants to marry. But this time would be different. Dorothea was in her own room when her sister arrived. Oh, Celia, I am delighted to see you, she cried. I was afraid that you would not come. Celia sat down and looked at her sister sadly. We are all very disappointed, Celia said. You always want things that are not right. First you marry an old man, clever and rich, but ugly and very boring. Now you want to marry Mr. Ladislaw, who has no land or money at all. You always want to make yourself uncomfortable in some way or another. Don't you, dear? My dear? Sir James is so angry too, Celia went on. You will go away and perhaps I shall never see you again. And my poor little Arthur will never know his aunt. Dear Celia, Dorothea said, if that happens, it will not be my fault. Yes, it will, Celia replied. James won't see you because all this is so wrong. So I won't be able to see you either. And where are you going to leave? I'm going to London, Dorothea replied. That is where Will's work is. But you will have to live in a house on the street, Celia cried. This is another of your mistakes, Dorothea. You said that you were never going to marry again. Well, now I'm going to marry Mr. Ladislaw, Dorothea said in a clear voice. I have promised to marry him, and that's what I'm going to do. Celia sighed. She knew that when her sister spoke like that, nothing would change her mind. Is Mr. Ladislaw very fond of you? Celia asked. I hope so. I'm very fond of him, Dorothea replied with a smile. Well, that's good. I do so wonder how it all happened. Can't you tell me, dear Dorothea, dear? Dorothea laughed. No, Celia, I can't, she said. You would never believe me if I did. So that's the end of chapter 21. And now let's move on to the last chapter, 22. What came afterwards? So it's a little bit like the epilogue of the novel, and this chapter basically correspond to the finale, cha well, micro chapter or the epilogue. This is in the original text, the finale. Yeah, there are a couple pages after book book 8, the final book, just after this one. All right, let's read it now. What came afterwards? Nicholas Bulstrode was getting ready to leave Middlemarch, where he felt that he could no longer live. His wife had supported him when the town had turned against him. He decided that he must help her and her family, the Vinceys, if he could. I'm not selling my land, Harriet, he said. I'm leaving it to you in my will. Is there anything else that you would like you would like me to do? I would like you to help my brother's family, Nicholas. Harriet Bulstrode replied. My brother says that my niece, Rosamond, and Dr. Lydgate are leaving Middlemarch too. They are young and have their whole lives in front of them. Give them enough to make those lives easier wherever they are. Mr. Lydgate does not wish me to help him, Bulstrode replied. He has returned the money I sent him and accepted Mrs. Casbon's offer for help. But I have another plan. Your brother's son, Fred, has been doing well lately. He has been working with Caleb Garth, and the young man is now a good farm manager. I would like him to look after the farm at Stone Court. In time, Fred will have the chance to own the farm himself. He can marry and settle down. Speak to your brother about it, Harriet. Thank you. I will, Harriet Bulstrode replied. I've always been fond of my brother, and he has had a lot of trouble recently. Fred is a good boy. He and Mary Garth have been in love for years. I would like to see them married at last. I would like to see them happy. So Fred Vincy got his chance. He worked hard, and in a year's time, he and Mary Garth were married. Fred and Mary Vincy were happy and their marriage was a successful one. One successful marriage. They had 3 children, all boys, and lived at Stone Court for the rest of their long lives. The future for Tertius and Rosamond was not as happy, although Lydgate became a very successful doctor in London, where many of his patients were from wealthy society families. He died when he was only 50, leaving Rosamond and his 4 children with more than enough money to live on. Rosamond's second husband was a much older doctor who gave his wife her own way in everything. She had a large house, a carriage of her own, and money to spend on herself. She and her children were happy. Finally, I have what I deserve, Rosamond said to herself. All my problems are behind me at last. My God. Dorothea had been happy to give up money and position to marry Will. Dorothea had been happy to give up money and position to marry Will Ladislaw, and they worked together for the good of society. In time, Will became a member of Parliament, and with his wife's help, he worked for reform and to improve the lives of people everywhere. English society was changing fast, and the Ladislaws were part of that change. So finally, Dorothea finds purpose in her life through her husband, though, but still, she has some satisfaction. Sir James Chetton continued to oppose the marriage, and at first he would have nothing to do with the Ladislaws, but Mr. Brooke wrote to them every week And after nearly a year, he sent them an invitation to visit him at Tipton Grange. Then one morning, Celia received a letter at Freshitt Hall, and when she had read it, she began to cry. My dear Celia! Oh, sorry. This is Sir James. My dear Celia, what is the matter? Sir James asked her. Have you had bad news? Celia shook her head. Dorothea has had a little boy, and that is good news, she said. But I suppose that you will not let me go and see her. She was very ill, and they thought that she would die. Oh, I wish that you were not so unkind, James. I do not want to see Dorothea. I do so want to see Dorothea and the little boy too. But how can I, when you have forbidden me to visit them? To visit them. I will take you to London tomorrow if that's what you want, Sir James said quickly. I do, yes, I do, Celia replied. Dorothea knows nothing about babies, and she is short-sighted too. Something will go wrong if I am not there. I know it will. Where sisters love each other, their husband must learn to be friends too. Will Ladislow and Sir James Chatham had never had different opinions about most things, but for the sake of their wives, the two men learned to be polite to one another. Mr. and Mrs. Ladislow were always invited to the grand were always invited to the Grange twice a year, and as time went by, their two children looked forward to playing with their little cousins at Freshitt Hall. So here apparently they have two children. Um, but we learned well, about only one baby. But then maybe they had another one. Anyway, Mr. Brooke lived to a good age, and Dorothea's son inherited his estate. Dorothea's ideas did not change as she grew older, and she always kept her youthful enthusiasm and her desire to help people. She tried her best to do good in the world, and the world was a better place because of it. Dorothea's life had been an unusual one, and some people thought that both her marriage had been mistakes, but her life with Will was very happy, and her feelings for him never changed. Dorothea's feelings for the other people she loved did not change either. They only became stronger. Her family and friends loved and respected her until the day she died, and that was enough to complete a happy and successful life. And that's the end of this adaptation. I just want to take a minute to read to you the last sentences, the last paragraph of the book, which you will find in the upcoming video about my favorite quotes from the original text. I have listed 14 quotes that I love or passages that I love in the novel. I hope that you will love them too, or share the ones that you love too. And this is the last quote that I really cherish here in this novel. And here is, I'm going to read to you the final paragraph, and the message behind it is in a way that means that in a way we are all Dorotheas here, and that we also have to make mistakes to learn and grow as Dorothea did. So here is the final paragraph. But we, insignificant people with our daily words and acts are preparing the lives of many Dorotheas, some of which may present a far sadder sacrifice than that of Dorothea, whose story we know. A finely touched spirit had still its fine issues, though they were not widely visible. Her full nature, like that river of which Cyrus wrote the strength, spent itself in channels which had no great name on the earth. But the effect of her being on those around her was incalculably diffusive, for the growing good of the world is partly dependent on unhistoric acts, and that things are not so ill with you and me as they might have been, is half owing to the number who lived faithfully a hidden life and rest in unvisited tombs. So here she is honoring, well, George Eliot is honoring all these women. To me, she addresses herself to all these women. She's, yeah, or to the younger generation, and honoring the past, her previous generations of women who lay the foundation um, of improving the life of people who have acted in the emancipation of women or the empowerment of women in a way in the 19th century way, or the 18th century way, which is not necessarily the way we view feminism or empowerment for women, but it takes time for mentality to evolve, and sometimes in the midst of these transition, the ideas or concepts can be conflicted, and and some women can appear as controversial, and we can see that with the number of female authors. I'm reading or listening the reading of this book called The Jane Austen Bookshelf by Rebecca Romney. This book here, and I don't know if you can see that properly here. That's it. Maybe with less. Oh, anyway, and so Jane Austen's Bookshelf, Rebecca Romney, and in this book she presents and she introduces a lot of female authors such as Frances Burney, Anne Radcliffe, or Hannah More, Charlotte Smith, Elizabeth Inchbald, Hester Lynch Straley Piozzi, and Maria Edgeworth, sorry, who lived through the 18th century and yeah 18, or Charlotte Lennox is actually early, yeah, mid 18th century and beginning of 19th century, and who knows, maybe George Eliot, sorry, is reflecting on these women. She has this these women on her mind, or maybe the women that are in her close circle and living their lives the way that they want, without in the most free way possible. Although we know that often women didn't have any other choice than getting married and have children. But there are some. Actually, George Eliot never had children. She married, but at the very end of her life, and she just got married, and she stayed married for only a couple months, and then she died. But then she was living as a married couple, as a wife, uh, for more than twenty years with her husband, George Henry Lewis. And although this man was already married with his wife, but couldn't get divorced with her, so they lived as a married couple, but weren't officially married, and that was scandal. And in a way, this book is her legacy for the younger generation, and that's why he got so much. His This book is so powerful in many ways, and whether if it's in relation to women in society, or the state of the poor in society, and the state of health, and how we treat people, and the question of societal rank and access to wealth as well. So there's so many themes, and that explains why this that are approached, and why this novel is such a masterpiece, and is has become a classic. And those themes are so relevant to this day, and that is the definition of a classic, is because throughout the centuries, throughout the years, the decades, these books are still relevant. And now that you've read this adaptation of the book, I hope that it would give you the motivation, I would say, or the strength to, or the will to read the actual text. Take your time, but enjoy the ride, definitely. So that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this last guided reading session. It was a pleasure to read those chapter for you, with you, and I hope that you'll be able to join the book club for our last talk on Middlemarch. Once you join the book club, you will have also access to all the previous uh, conversations that we had over the months, over the last year, and all the book clubs, all the book discussion that we've done so far. Um, there are more, I don't know how many videos we've got, but we have started those recording those sessions last May. So it's been a year, more than a year now, of book discussions, and you will be able to find the discussion of the 4 discussion sessions on Middlemarch. If you've missed if you've missed them and you joined just now, or you will join later, you can definitely find them. As long as you sign up to the book club, you will have the access of the guided reading, the discussion books, the discussion workshops. You'll be able to attend all the authors' interviews as well for free, and you have access to the whole catalog of all the book discussions for free as well. So I guess you just have one thing is just to join the book club. Now I will see you. We're going to do a little break over the summer with the guided readings. I will continue reading. I will continue to read books and plan authors' interviews. Hopefully over the summer, these interviews will be able to happen, but I will tell you more in a couple weeks, yes. And in September, we will meet again for a new guided reading session of this book called Lolly Willow by Sylvia Townsend Warner. This author is an author a British author that I don't know. I got to discover this book through thanks to our member, and I really look forward to read this book. We're not going to read this edition um, because our member has a different one, but a different one. But I wanted to show you the book. You have this little edition. So if you compare with um, maybe this one, so it's a small one. So you can buy this book if you like the hardcover. Um, but we will not read that edition. Uh, but you can still read the book and you will look at we so the book has no, there are just 2 or 3 parts in the book. There aren't any chapters. It's quite a short one. There are about 200 pages. It's quite a quick read. So we will read this book in its original text, and and I will divide the book in different chunk of pages. So if you look at this close bound book, you can see the difference. So I might do a little giveaway prize of this book over the summer, but I will let you know more in the coming weeks. So if you want to win this little edition of Lily Willow, then you just need to become a new member of the book club and you will get this edition of the book. So that's for September, but more news about it over the summer to prepare our comeback in September with the book club. So in the meantime, I wish you a beautiful end of the day and hope to see you soon in the book club. Bye bye.